Hey guys, what's up? It's Greg. So for today's video, I wanted to discuss something that is both highly requested and highly sought out for. And those are money-saving tips when keeping reptiles and amphibians as pets. I came up with a total of 12 things that you guys can do and look out for to save money when keeping your animals. So I'm just gonna hop right on into the list. The first thing I'm gonna be talking about is light fixtures. This light fixture I bought at my local hardware store. Not many people know this, but you can find the exact same kind of clamp lamps that project or can sit on top of your tank at the hardware store. You can find them at stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Tractor Supply Company. They all have these kinds of lamps there, and they're going to be a hell of a lot less money than at the pet store. You can also buy red heat lights at the hardware store. That way you save a hell of a lot of money, especially if you need a lot of these guys like I do. The second thing I'm going to be talking about is propagating live plants. Oftentimes a lot of pet keepers like myself like to have live plants in their animals' tanks, especially for more tropical species like geckos, frogs, pythons, and stuff like that. They can benefit greatly from having live plants in their tank. There are some plant species such as pothos, bromeliads, wandering Jew, prickly pear cactus, and Christmas cactus that are all super easy and simple to propagate. All you have to do is break off a piece of it and shove it in the soil or water and it will root. The exception on that list was the bromeliads. They do have pups though, so the pups eventually grow from the base of the plant. You can break them off and they turn into a brand new plant. Number 3 is going to be using natural items from the outdoors in your animals' enclosures. So the 3 most commonly used items from nature in your animals' enclosures are seashells, rocks, and sticks, because you can disinfect them at home. That way they won't carry any diseases, germs, bacteria, or pests to your animals. Have a pot of boiling water on the stove, drop your rocks and seashells in, leave them in there for about 5 to 10 minutes, boom, they're disinfected. Wait until they cool, they're perfect to use for your animals. When using sticks and branches, you could either waterlog them for tropical enclosures by boiling them in water the exact same way you would with seashells and rocks, or you could bake them in the oven to make sure they dry out, and that way it will kill any germs, bacteria, or insects that might be on the wood. So number 4 is going to be growing your own greens for your herbivorous reptiles. So some commonly kept animals that require greens and vegetables in their diet are going to be turtles, tortoises, iguanas, bearded dragons, and uromastyx. All these animals are very common. It's almost impossible to skip out on giving them fresh fruits and vegetables in their diets. I do it in the summer. It's winter time right now. If it was thriving, I will be showing you my vegetable garden, but I have a huge ass vegetable garden in my backyard. Things like growing romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, butter crunch lettuce, spinach, arugula, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard. These are all very easy to grow and not that many people realize it. Some of them can be ready to harvest within a month. Yeah, a month they could be ready to harvest. So if you guys need to learn how to grow any of these for your pets, let me know in the comments down below. I might be able to put out a video when springtime comes of my garden. And there's also a lot of other YouTube videos. You can just look up how to start your own vegetable garden. A couple other things that are really easy to grow are squash and cucumbers, which will add a great variety of nutrition to your pet's diet. The next money-saving tip I'm going to recommend is using bowls from either the dog, cat, or rodent section from your pet store. You can find little ceramic bowls like this in the hamster, gerbil, and mouse section of the pet store, as low as 99 cents, sometimes on clearance for 50 cents. You can find good quality ceramic bowls for your reptiles as both food dishes and water dishes. Especially for larger animals like iguanas, pythons, monitor lizards, bearded dragons, you could get dog and cat food bowls. They are going to be equally as big and way less expensive. One thing I've learned over the years of keeping reptiles is that the manufacturers of all reptile products up the prices because of how specific the items sound. Obviously, if you want your bowl to look more like a rock or something like that, you're going to want to go with the reptile ones. 50 cents for a water bowl versus $10 for a reptile water bowl. And all ceramic is dishwasher safe. Another great way to save money when keeping reptiles and amphibians is getting things from the clearance section in the pet stores. Not many people know this, but expiration dates on food and treats and stuff like that are most of the time sell-by dates, and they're not real expiration dates. They're put there so the product is going to be at its best quality possible. Most foods, especially if they're canned or dried, are going to be completely fine months after that expiration date. So if you go to the clearance section, they're going to be marked down by a great amount of money, and this adds up quickly. You can also find outdated books that still have tons of information in the clearance section, or pet supplies that might be broken in certain areas, or plants, fake plants that might be missing a couple leaves, or live plants that might be close to being dead but not quite dead, and if you have a green thumb you could bring them back and you could save a shit ton of money. The next thing is also for having fake plants in your reptiles enclosures. Many people obviously like to make their tanks look full, luscious, natural, green, and have a lot of hiding spots for their animals. How do people do that? They use plants. You could either go live plants or fake plants. When getting live plants, you could go to the nursery and save a ton of money instead of getting the pet store specific ones. Just make sure you're not treated with any chemicals or pesticides. For fake plants, all you're going to want to do is go to the craft store. Stores like Michael's or AC Moore craft stores, they have a larger variety of fake plants than you would think. Most of them are way better quality than some of the other ones you would find. They're way less expensive, and you're going to find a lot more for your money that way. Another huge money-saving tip is ordering things online, especially from Amazon. If you have an Amazon Prime membership like I do, you could get items such as these were bamboo stakes. I got them at my local reptile shop for $16.99. I looked on the Amazon, the exact same product, $8.99. Half the price, exact same item. Obviously, I'm kind of screwed because I already used these and I can't return them and get the cheaper price, but you catch my drift. You could just save a shit ton of money just by ordering your stuff online. There's also websites like Chewy.com that are specially made for pet supplies, and you could save a lot of money. A lot of those places also have online coupons with certain products when you purchase them. You could find entire tanks for $10, $20 less than you would find in the pet store, and they're exactly the same. So a great money-saving tip on enclosures is making your own DIY custom storage bin cages. This little cage is housing my baby western hognose snake. Nice and simple, easy to clean, and easy to build. You're gonna get this for like $5 as opposed to using a glass tank and setup, which will basically do the same thing, which can cost up to $100 depending on how big of a tank you need. Bin cages are really easy, especially for snakes, because snakes are so simplistic animals to keep. They don't have that many requirements necessary for them. You can house giant snakes like pythons and boa constrictors and large storage bins. Another plus with storage bins, most of them have locks on them and they're escape proof for your snakes. Some people keep leopard geckos and crested geckos in these, and it's perfectly fine as long as they suit all of their needs. Especially for crested geckos, you want to go higher. Leopard geckos and pythons though, they go great just flat. That way you cut off all the room on the top that's not going to be used and you just make them longer. Easy to store too. You can slide them under beds, under furniture, you can make a rack system for them. They're really simple. All you got to do is drill holes in it with a drill, try to file them down a little bit. Make sure to have them on all sides for easy ventilation. As well on the top, I just have a couple on the top over here. Make sure they have a good air ventilation. Put more holes in the bin if they're more of a drier animal, and try to use less holes for animals that need more moisture and humidity, like tropical animals. At least have holes on all four sides. That way there is constant oxygen going in and out of the tank. So the second to last tip on money saving for your pets is going to be adoption. Adopting your pets rather than buying them from breeders or pet stores is probably the best thing you could do. When you're saving a pet, you're saving its life and giving it a great home, but two, you're saving a shit ton of money, especially if they're going to be a more expensive animal. There are websites like petfinder.com or Craigslist where you can go on and search animals that have small rehoming fees or free rehoming fees, and oftentimes come with the entire setup necessary. All you gotta do is go on something like Craigslist and search in their classifieds in their pet section or whatever the website has, and you're gonna find tons of animals. They have things from dogs to cats to birds, snakes, fish, turtles, anything you could find, you could adopt it and save its life. And the last thing I'm going to be talking about is feeder insects and how you can breed them. Personally, I breed superworms for my animals. They're mostly for my leopard gecko and my crested gecko, and they're pretty easy to breed. A lot of feeder insects you could breed, especially I heard dubia roaches are really easy to breed. I've never done it before because I don't have very many larger animals that can eat the adult roaches, so I don't personally breed them, but I do know of a lot of YouTubers that do, and there are tons of tutorials online on how to breed feeder insects like superworms, mealworms, crickets, dubia roaches. Is also gut loading for nutritional value. Instead of spending money on a lot of those canned, pre-made insect and animal diets, all you gotta do is if your animal is an insect eater, gut load them. Feed them vegetables and fruits that are high in calories and high in nutrients, and they're going to pass that on to your pets. So that's it with this video, guys. If you like these tips, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below any video suggestions, and if you like my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more animal videos every week. I'm sorry if this video sounded a little more sped up or enthusiastic than normal. I'm kind of trying to cut it short because it's getting pretty late and it's a school night, and I just want to film this video, and I'm actually kind of excited for it because I feel like it's something that so many people can benefit from watching. Later, guys. Bye.